Hello and welcome to the Pulse. Chelsea have beaten Brentford by a 1-0 at the Brentford Community Stadium. A Ben Chilwell stunner just before half-time was enough to get all 3 points today. It was a tough-fought victory, but now it's time to react to everything that has been about Chelsea's win today in the company of Claire, Elizabeth and Brett as well. So let's get straight into it then, shall we? I mean, deep breath. We got over the line. #hard-fought win we're going with today, Claire, and it was exactly that. It was a tough victory, but it's 3 points and it's a good 3 points as well.
Yeah, Joe, I just finally can breathe now. I think we clung on for dear life, didn't we? They threw absolutely everything at us. Mendy, you have to applaud him, don't you? What a fantastic performance. Man of the match for me. But yeah, I was literally on the edge of my seat. I was like, no, hands over my face. But we made it. I think we're back to the top of the league. And look, a win's a win, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right. And again, Elizabeth, we knew it was going to be a tough place to go. They've got good results against Arsenal and Liverpool already this season. So that's going to be a very important 3 points today.
Definitely. Like I said earlier in the pre-match show, I think that these are the types of games that you need to win in order to string together wins of games and compete for the Premier League title. And that's exactly what Chelsea did. It wasn't necessarily a pretty win. We defended for our lives. We defended strong. Mendy, again, brick wall. But these are the games that we need to win. Massive 3 points for us.
Absolutely. And Brett, it starts us, doesn't it? It's good to get back from international football, hit the ground running, and now a good favourable couple of fixtures, hopefully, that we can even build on from now.
Yeah, we've got some great fixtures coming up. We should be able to collect all 3 points in a lot of these fixtures. How massive was Edouard Mendy today? The guy was absolutely dynamite. Without him today, we don't win. Top class keeper.
Absolutely right, mate. Absolutely. We will definitely come on to Edouard Mendy. I'm sure about that. Let's get into the game on social then. And it started, of course, before the game. We were talking about squad depth and how important it is and how good Chelsea's squad depth is. And it's absolutely right. I mean, you look at Loftus-Cheek, it's just been absolutely sensational. And it's right, credit to Tuchel for rewarding him his performances in training as well, but credit to the player as well. That's very important. The player gets the praise for doing that. And then you look at the squad depth. We've got Loftus-Cheek, Barkley, Kovacic, Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Ziyech. We'll get into all, if not every single Premier League team in the division. It's so true. The depth that we have is scary, Claire. And you look at all of those players. They walk into most other teams, and there are a couple potentially that would maybe get in the squad. But in terms of the quality that we've got in depth, like we said before the game, you get an opportunity, you have to take it, and Ruben's done that again today.
Yeah. It's the trust, isn't it? He's given these players opportunities, given them trust. And you know what? You get to the 88th minute and Brentford will throw absolutely everything. And sometimes that's where the cracks can show. If you haven't played for a while, you might switch off, you might be tired. But no, these players who have come in, they stepped up. Salah for me, he looked like he was getting a little bit tired, but he had enough in him to keep going. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's always calm, isn't he? We said it about at half-time, the way he can turn a player, the way he moves his body, shifts his body weight. And I think, the depth of the squad, once again, fantastic. We proved that that's the reason why we're top of the league. So we win, even though sometimes it's not that pretty.
You're absolutely right. And those are the games, aren't they? It's a proper cliche, but you have to get through the dirty games sometimes. You might not be at your best, but if you get 3 points from it. And, Elizabeth, you look at the players that weren't involved today, the players that aren't available today. Christian Pulisic is one of those who we talk about it quite a lot. But that period after lockdown where we came back, all of a sudden, he was arguably at that point in time probably the best player in the league. He was unplayable. You've got a player like that, Hakim Ziyech as well, who's got immense quality. We know how good his left foot is when he's playing well. He's another one. Kai Havertz comes off the bench today. Mason Mount comes off the bench today. The depth is staggering.
It's absolutely insane to think about how many players that Chelsea have, and to think that Pulisic has been out injured as well. I mean, he is one of those players that is just so incredibly special. When he's on it, he can be an absolute game changer. Like you said, post-restart, he was unplayable at that time. And I think that if he can shake off the injuries a bit, and get a run of games in the league, he could get back to that level. But nobody really takes on players and dribbles past players and draws players to them quite like Christian Pulisic. He's so special. And I think that it just speaks a lot to Chelsea that we have so much squad depth to choose from.
I think one thing as well, in terms of Christian Pulisic, he's probably looking at someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's, I suppose, had a similar journey in that aspect, got to come back from an injury and is looking maybe at nailing down one specific position. Is quite versatile, can play in a number of roles. Let's talk about Ruben, because I think he was sensational again today. And I'm leader of the Ruben Loftus-Cheek fan club, to be fair. But, you look at some of these is looking like his pre-Achilles injuries, Loftus-Cheek, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. It's so true. This new deeper role is very interesting as well, Brett, isn't it? Because I suppose on paper, you look at Ruben and you think he's a player that can affect the game in the final third, but he runs games, he controls games, and if we can fit him in the squad somewhere, maybe this is his new position.
Yeah, I mean, I was at that Europa League semifinal match a couple of years ago when he scored that goal. But yeah, Ruben, the way he dribbles past people, it's just grace. It's so nice to see, right? And he can control. He's got a big body, right? First of all, right? You can't train that. So he's got the big body. He's got the knowledge, right? He's Chelsea through and through. I think this could be a position, right? If Tuchel sees something in him here, I trust him.
I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you, man. And this brings us on to our overreaction tweet of the day. We have a little bit of fun with this overreaction tweet of the day. So this is this is what it is for today. Zidane was never as good as Loftus-Cheek. now again, I mean, Henry White's talking about. Well, I'm just saying I've never seen Zidane play as a 6. That's all. I'm just saying.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly right. We are talking about one of the greats in that position, but again, we're allowed to get carried away, Claire, aren't we? Because he is one of our own. Emotionally, we have that attachment to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and we've seen how hard he's worked to get himself back in this position post that injury. And you know yourself how difficult it is, and the amount of obstacles you have to overcome to get back to playing at the top level after a serious injury. It's more than just going, oh, he's fit again, it's repaired. There's a lot more to it than that.
You know what? Sometimes it can take almost 18 months with an injury like that. Yes, he went away. He's almost like a revival, but actually it's not. I think it's probably the nicest moment for him to know that at the end of the day, sometimes as a footballer, you only really have yourself. If you're not playing well, you have to turn around and go, you know what? I know what I can do. I have to stick to that and believe in that. And I think this is kind of probably what's been going on behind the scenes. He's been putting in the hours on the training pitch. He's probably been, really almost taken aback with the fact that he kind of didn't work with Chelsea for him at first, and he kind of had to take a step back and then go again, which makes it even sweeter, right? But yeah, it's lovely to see, especially one of our own. Who doesn't like to see that?
Absolutely right. And also we only had one shot on target today, but that's all we needed. Ben Chilwell getting the goal just for half time. A lot of reaction, social media reaction to Ben Chilwell getting that goal, rightly so, and a lot of it talking about the technique of the volley, which we've all kind of mentioned, we've all spoken about. Elizabeth, it's true though, isn't it? And again, I'm not going to get Claire involved in this because I don't want to embarrass her, but left footers always look better when they score, don't they? Left-footed goals look better. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it, but a left-footed volley is like a dream.
I don't know what it is, but you're right. It just looks like so incredible. And like I kind of said on the halftime show, like my jaw literally hits the ground when he hits the ball. I was thinking, well, it's at least going to be on target, knowing Chile, but what a goal. I mean, it was absolutely insane. He has that technique absolutely dialed in, and one shot was all it took. And another goal by a Chelsea defender as well.
Yeah, like you mentioned at half time, goals are coming from all over the pitch, and that's so important. But Brett, when you've got when you've got someone in as fine form as Ben Chilwell, 3 in 3, you need one shot on target, mate. Clinical, that's what it's about.
I mean, it's just crazy. The competition, though, too. Alonso's coming in scoring goals as well, right? So that left back position, the wide left position for Tuchel has been amazing this year. I trust that if Alonso has to come in too, he'll do the job. But Chilwell has been phenomenal, right? And so those two will challenge each other and push each other. And only good things are to come as a result of that competition in these squads.
Absolutely right. It does bring us on to our knee-jerk reaction for today, which is Ben Chilwell's going to get 10 goals this season. And the way he's going, it's only going to take... Well, he'll have 10 before the next international break, the way he's going at the moment, because he is absolutely flying.
Starts him, doesn't he?
Do you know what, Claire? This is a question. This is a question I was going to bring to you as well, because we spoke about this last season where potentially he'd only really played in a 4 at the back, and then playing left wing back, such a different role to left back. It's going to take time to develop, but it does look like now we're seeing the best out of Ben Chilwell. Perhaps he needed a little bit of rest. Thomas Tuchel spoke about him being mentally fatigued after the summer and stuff like that, and he seems to have managed him perfectly well. And now, I mean, Ben Chilwell's he's sort of rewarding the manager for that faith, isn't he?
Yeah, I think sitting on that bench as well, knowing what you can do, sometimes you can get, typecast almost as the defensive player, and Alonso's the attacking one. It's given him the opportunity to show that he can do both. and a fullback or a wing back who can do both. That's exactly what we need. And I think Alonso always shows up with the goals, doesn't he? And Chilwell, off the back of not starting, being frustrated, having that break. I don't know what kind of, maybe mentally he was tired. That's what's been said, but I think it's time again. Like we see in revivals almost, but it's not. It's these players know what they can do. We know what they can do, and the depth of the squad. To be able to turn around and play, totally different team, or play different players in different positions, and know they're going to be able to score, defend, do every single job that you ask them. I think that's what's going to win a title.
Completely agree, and he's obviously part of a bigger unit in terms of the defensive unit, which is a very different look Chelsea today, obviously, as well. A defensive unit we'd not really seen before in terms of Chalobah, Christensen and Malang Sarr, but I think all three of them played really well today, and especially Elizabeth, because Ivan Toney is going to give a lot of centre-halves a headache this season. He's kind of the all-round package, isn't he, in terms of he can play to feet, he's strong, he's big in the air, he wants to tussle. Both Chalobah and Christensen today had battles with him that really, it's the biggest test you're going to come up against, because when you come up against the sort of the Ronaldos of the world, there's so much footage out there and there's so many different examples you can see. You can kind of run it against him. Tony's still a little bit of an unknown quantity at this level, and I thought they've done fantastically well today.
Yeah, I mean, Ivan Toney broke the record for a number of goals scored in the championship last season. He is such an incredible goal scorer. He doesn't need that many opportunities in order to score. So it was going to take a lot for Chelsea to defend against him. And I think that Chalobah and Christensen and even Sarr at the end, he made like a really brilliant interception as well. They did really well to keep him pretty tame throughout the game. And it was difficult towards the end. Brentford were just attacking and really going for that goal. But overall, I thought that they defended really well, especially against the likes of such a strong striker like an Ivan Toney.
Completely agree. Let's have a little look at this. It's a fantastic tweet from Amdu, which is as Chelsea's defence today, just a brick wall. It just was just an absolute brick wall, and it's true. Brett, we speak about on a regular basis Chelsea's strength defensively. When you make three changes, really, in terms of the three centre halves, a partnership we've not seen together before, and they keep a clean sheet, and they're as solid as they are today, that just underlines how well the club is set up in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have three changes in the back, right, you expect to be a safety, right? And you expect that you might be leaking and give up a goal or two, right? The boys played phenomenal this back, right? They did a really good job in defensive unit. And credit to Thomas Tuchel for having the guys set up and prepared, because he is a top class manager, and to have those guys set up that way, all brand new, right? And Sarr's, new to the squad. Christian's been here a while, right? But just to have the training, I can imagine on the training ground the past week, right? The boys were so focused in, right? And it shows on the pitch. It shows that Tuchel is a great technician. He's a great manager. We are fortunate to have him.
Absolutely agree, mate. And as well, Claire, as well, a new role for Andreas Christensen today, because we're used to seeing him beside, whether it be Tony Rudiger, whether it be Cesar Azpilicueta or Thiago Silva in that back three. Whereas today he was kind of, I hate the term, but almost the elder statesman. He was the experienced player of the lot. He was the one that you're looking at to organise and sort it out. And I mean, not only did he flourish in that aspect, but you look at him and you think, oh yeah, he's been here for a good amount of time. He's playing at a very top level for that long, and he is one of the most experienced in the team.
He looked like he's been like almost Thiago Silva, the calmness. He kind of absorbed the pressure, right? Especially as I was saying, as the game was going on, to maintain the concentration, the calm, because it's infectious when you're playing. If you're erratic or you're kind of a little bit stressed, that can emanate through the whole squad. So I think he took that responsibility. He took the two players beside him. Communication, clearly he was kind of defining the movements and trying to just dictate. And I think it just shows that if he needs to step up and be in that situation again, then he can do that.
Yeah, absolutely right. It does. It gives you a huge amount of confidence going forward. If he's going to be the sort of the next generation of leader in terms of the next person that could wear the armband, I completely agree. Someone that, to be fair, if you threw an armband at him, he'd catch it and throw it straight back to you today, because he was unbelievable. Edouard Mendy. A lot of praise coming in on social media, rightly so. This one, my goodness, Edu Mendy, what a keeper. And there's a lot of talk about this next one as well, and I completely agree with it. Mendy not shortlisted for the Ballon d'Or. Now, again, we're obviously biased here. he is the best goalkeeper in the league by a distance for me at the moment. Probably the best goalkeeper in the world as well. You probably put Donnarumma in there because of his Euros performance. But in terms of how lucky we are, Elizabeth, he was sensational again today, and probably the reason that we've come away with 3 points.
1,000%. 1,000%. I mean, he was a brick wall. There was no getting past him. And every time that Brentford attacked, they looked so intent. It was wave after wave after wave of Brentford attack. And he kept saving them. Brilliant saves in the dying minutes of the game. I was so impressed. Man of the match for me. And I do think that he should have gotten a nomination for the Ballon d'Or because he is incredible. He won the Champions League and he's winning Chelsea games. If it weren't for him, I don't think we would have won that game because his saves were that crucial.
Completely agree. And Brett, I suppose obviously the whole squad depth is very important, but you look at the run of fixtures that we've got coming up. We've kind of referenced it a little bit, but this was a tricky start. This was I suppose on paper the hardest one out of the next couple. You know, we've got Norwich to play. We play Malmo in the Champions League in the week as well. The next couple of weeks we've got Burnley to play. I think we've got Newcastle as well before the next international break. So the run of fixtures, it's not the hardest on paper, but this was the one. This was the trickiest of the lot, you'd hope. And you get today with the result that sets you up, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford have got results against Arsenal, against Liverpool. So it's a tricky fixture, right? They've proven that they belong in the Premier League, right? So for us to come in and keep a clean sheet today, that was massive, right? Now, one thing I do know is that any of the boys on the squad, right, they'll know that their name will get called, right? So Tuchel's just not going through and, same name after name every week after week after week. He's changing it up, right? Looking at the opponent that we're playing, right, and saying, okay, this is the quality that Chilwell has today, right? Alonso could get a start next week, right? Probably though, right? Tuchel goes in and looks at the quality, looks at the opponent, right, and says, okay, so I know that the boys will be ready, right, for all fixtures, right? If the league is won, right, not necessarily when you're playing against the Arsenals and Liverpools, right? It's one of when you win 1-0 against Brentford away, right? Today, if we didn't have all 3 points, which, Elizabeth touched on, very well could have easily been a point, right, if we didn't have Mendy, right? So this is where, the squad depth comes into play.
Oh, completely, absolutely right. And that squad depth's going to be important, Claire, as well, because you don't want to dismiss any team because every team that you come up against has the ability to cause a bit of an upset. But Malmo in the Champions League is the one out of the group that you'd expect Chelsea to do well in, and maybe there is that opportunity, like Brett said there, for players that perhaps haven't had an opportunity so far to get a run, to get a start maybe on Tuesday night, and then they're knowing if they perform well in that one, they carry on training well, the manager's going to reward them with an opportunity in the Premier League because he's shown he will do.
Exactly. Tuchel's open-minded with that. I think for me, we're going to see a lot of rotation. I think the games over the next few weeks, you have to keep the team fresh. Also, there has to be an element of consistency too. And that consistency comes with the mindset, the winning mindset, not conceding goals. I think that is the main kind of aim off the back of all these games. Despite who's coming in and playing, there needs to be clean sheets like there was today.
And that as well, Elizabeth, comes the mentality in terms of comes that you know you're going to get opportunity, but also you know what's expected of you as a Chelsea player. You can't come in and put in a 7 out of 10 because you know that you could be waiting another 6 weeks for an opportunity because the next person that's going to come along isn't going to do the same. So if you are, whoever gets to start in the week or, today, all the players that have played really well probably feel a little bit hard done by if anyone gets dropped in midweek because if you're going, I've done really well there. But that, like Claire said, it's that mentality and that consistency of performance that's required, even if the consistency isn't there in the same names on the team sheet, as it were.
Yeah, I think that there's, the aspect that you have to perform consistently. There's a lot of competition. So if you don't perform, somebody's going to take your spot. And that's only a good thing, in my opinion, if you can keep the dressing room happy. And Thomas Tuchel has done that absolutely brilliantly, in my opinion. It seems that everybody kind of knows where they stand in the team. They know that they're going to get their opportunity and that he's being open and honest with these players. At least that's the vibe that I get from outside. It seems that they all know where they stand. They know that they're going to get a chance, that they're going to get to fight. And he's telling them what they need to do to get their opportunities and take it.
And also, Brett, we're a club that's expected to go deep in numerous competitions. So there is that element as well that you're going to get minutes because there's going to be a lot of games that you've got to play. Still got the Super Cup, the Club World Cup to fit in at some point as well before the new year. So there's enough games to be a little bit patient, I suppose. If you're not getting the minutes at other clubs, perhaps you get a little bit twitchy before the next international break. Whereas Chelsea are going, I know I'll play.
Yeah, I think Claire touched on this earlier. It's just, everyone's going to have a role to play, right? There are so many games coming up, right? We got the Club World Cup, we still have every competition available, right? You've really got to, rotate the club, right? And I think Elizabeth said it. Everyone knows that they're going to get a chance to play, right? If they come on and play well, they'll continue to play. There's no favorites, right? It's strictly performance-based, right? And the players know that if they come in and do well, they'll be given a chance, right? And that's all you can ask for as a player, my opinion, right? Sometimes we've had managers over the years, right, where it's been like the same team, name after name after name, right? We know that it's not going to be any different, right? But just with Tuchel, it just feels like anybody can come in and play, right? Squad. You saw it. We didn't even think Chalobah was going to make a team this year, and he started a couple games already in the Premier League. It's great to see.
You're absolutely spot on, and that's the importance, isn't it? About if you are on the fringes, as it were, knowing that you're going to get an opportunity, being patient a little bit. Ross Barkley coming last week, he's another one that pre-season it looked like potentially he might go out on loan or he might go elsewhere. Played a pivotal role in the goal against Southampton, playing the Champions League away at Juventus as well. And obviously, Claire, we've got the added complication of Edouard Mendy playing in the African Cup of Nations at the start of next year. Kepa's made a couple of appearances already this season, done brilliantly in those. So do you expect to see him in sort of Wednesday night against Malmo, for example, and games sort of sporadically to make sure that he's at sharpness?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that's difficult, isn't it? The goalkeeper position is only one goalkeeper can play at one time. So keeping Kepa kind of his eye on the game and eye on the ball and what's going on, I think that's actually going to be going on behind the scenes more so than kind of the match opportunities for him. But I would expect to see him come in. But it is being valued, right? You have to feel like you're a part of the team. And in order to give you all and buy into what the team represent, you need to feel that from the management, not just the manager, the whole structure. And so I'd like to see him come in just for kind of peace of mind for us as well, a little bit, if he potentially has to play when Mendy goes. So I'd like to see that, I think, just for that little bit of calm.
Yeah, no, completely right, and like you said earlier with the story you told us about Emma Hayes and making all the players feel appreciated and feel like they're part of something different. It does feel like that at Chelsea at the moment. I know we get amazing access through Lee Parker and Chelsea's YouTube. If you don't watch the Chelsea Unseen Extra videos and the sort of behind the scenes access that we get to training, you do get that sense that. Again, we're obviously very biased, but in terms you get that sense that everyone loves being a part of something bigger and everyone wants to help. Even in the Super Cup, when Kepa comes on for penalties and the first person to congratulate him and be delighted for him is Edouard Mendy. They're the two people in direct competition with each other. At other clubs, it feels like maybe there isn't that family bond, that team unit. But Elizabeth, as Chelsea fans, when you see that, you know that every player wants the best for every other player, even if you're competing with them to start games. That just gives you a bit of a warm sense. It does make you feel that perhaps this is the narrative, this is the story and the culture of the club that Thomas Tuchel has created.
Yeah, it seems like he's created such a positive atmosphere. And the example you gave was absolutely brilliant, because the fact that you have Mendy and Kepa competing with each other for the starting spot, and Mendy goes and congratulates Kepa, I just think that it says so much. And even when you see the goal celebrations, all of the players really huddled together. Today, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Aspie was tying Mendy's shoelaces. I thought that was really sweet as well. Like, who does that? So I think that there's just a massive camaraderie in the team right now.
I completely agree. Let's have a little look at what's coming up then on the fifth stand. It's going to be a busy week now. We're back fully on it now. We're back from European football. Thomas Tuchel will be speaking to the press on Tuesday ahead of our Champions League game, of course. Then we are in Youth League action against Malmo. That's Wednesday, earlier kickoff, 5 to 12 in the morning for that one. And then we are back for Matchday Live against Malmo Wednesday evening, 7:25. You can join us for the Champions League Matchday Live on that one. That is going to be a lot of fun. Fingers crossed as well. Matchday 3 as well, midway through the group stage already, which feels quite strange, doesn't it? Very, very strange. It feels like that. Brett, we're going to be hearing from one of the players very soon. But in terms of how we approach this now, how we move this on, it does feel very much now that we have to carry this on. Southampton was a good result. We need a momentum. Today's very much about that again.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things, right, where we're going to have to continue to put in performance after performance, right? If we want to win the league like we do this year, that's the aspiration, right, is to win the league, right? We're going to have City on our trail. Liverpool will be right there. These wins in the next few weeks are going to be massive, right? 3 points, not just one, right? And if you don't give up a goal, you can't lose. So, we're going to find goals from our strikers, though, I feel like, the next couple matches. We haven't had a couple goals, from our strikers in a while. So, I look for them to be hungry and perform in the next few weeks.
Absolutely agree. Let's get some post-match reaction then. Lee Parker has been speaking to the man who made his Premier League debut today. A very impressive debut as well. Malang Sarr.
Malang, your Premier League debut. How was it for you?
It was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a tough game today. But yeah, everything went like we wanted to because we got a 3 point. It was tough at the end, but we've done everything to keep the clean sheet, and that's it. We're really happy today.
Was it the type of competitive game you were expecting?
Yeah, really. That was the intensity, the toughness, lots of fighting, lots of challenges. It was the game that I was expecting, and the intensity. The intensity was the main thing.
When did you find out you were playing today?
Today when the coach gave the team at the meeting before the lunch, and I was really happy, but I was also ready because I wanted it so much, and I'm working every day for that. So I was just grateful and happy to be on the 11th start and do what I can do.
And playing alongside Andreas and Trevor, it looked like a natural fit. It looked like the three of you have been playing together for a long time.
Yeah, these two are really smart. It's really easy for me to adapt to them and to talk to them because they really like close to each other, and they really want to help the team to win. As soon as you have a team player, it's really easy for you to step in and just fit with them.
You look very composed from the first minute to the last. I mean, that was, I guess, key today against a team that keep on attacking until the final whistle.
That was my game. That's my game since I was a kid. Tried to keep composure, and I tried to keep it all the way up. And I hope I help the team today, and we've done a great job.
And a quick word on your goalkeeper behind you. Some heroic saves. I mean, special, very special.
I was like 2 minutes ago. I was showing him the clip of the last shot. It was amazing. And I'm happy for him because he's a friend and because he's working hard every day, and I see him doing things like that every day. So I'm not surprised, but it's amazing to have a goalkeeper like that behind you.
Certainly, as you keep up the momentum, top of the league, how important is that at this stage of the season?
Yeah, like I said, we knew that the league is competitive right now, especially this weekend, and we knew that we needed the 3 points, and that's what we did.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A very impressive debut and a clean sheet as well on his Premier League debut. So superb work from Malang Sarr and the brilliant Lee Parker pitch side for us as well. Thank you very much for joining us today. Brett, Elizabeth, Claire, all of you top drawer as always. Absolutely superb. Congratulations. You're phenomenal. Thank you very much for joining us for that. Nice one. Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Well, let's go and enjoy the rest of the weekend, shall we? 3 points in the bag.
Brett's having a good time, isn't he?
Brett's got it now. Brett's got the full bearhead in a pub with a dog.
I know, right? We're loving it. Go Chelsea.
Absolutely. Brett, thank you, mate. Elizabeth, thank you. Claire, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you stick around. Plenty more on the fifth stand, of course. And we'll see you in the week for Malmo.